Hey guys, it's Ben Afshar and this is the final whistle.
Hello and welcome back to the Final Whistle, brought to you by the Rugby Connection podcast. Well, it's our first guest of 2024 and he's already causing a stir. He made his debut for Glasgow at the end of November and he's just in the team all the time. He was vice-captain for the Under-20s trophy in Kenya last year. One of these shining lights from that Scotland Under-20 side. Massive future ahead of him. It's Ben Afshar. Ben, thank you so much for coming on. How are you getting on?
I'm good, thanks. How are you, Ian? Good,
I'm,
to
I'm
be
good.
on.
We're very excited. You are our first guest for 2024, so there you go.
New year.
Yeah, happy New Year. First question, we get all our guests to answer this. Get the ball rolling a little bit. What got you into rugby in the first place?
Um, so I'm originally from Edinburgh. So grew up there. And it was really my dad, to be honest. He's Iranian, but he came over here when he was 16. He actually started playing when he moved over here. He played for Murrayfield Wanderers. So so he kind of took me down to Aki's when I was growing up, and I just started playing there. I loved it, and then ended up just playing all the way until eventually I moved through to Glasgow. So it was
I
him.
need I, I need to ask then. You're an Edinburgh boy. How are you playing in Glasgow? How's that happen?
I don't know. It came about. I actually played at Aki when I left school. I ended up playing at Aki's again for the start of the Premiership season in 2021 or 2020. Yeah, the 2021 season, 2021-22 season. And then I tore my hamstring quite bad. So I took about 3 months to get in rehabbing for that. And then started playing Super Six again. Ended up in the summer of my first year of under-20s going to Italy with that squad. And then by the end of that, it was actually Glasgow that offered me the contract. And I was actually planning on moving through to Glasgow anyway, because to go to uni here. So it all just ended up falling into place like that. So I'm a Glasgow boy now, unfortunately. Well, fortunately for me, unfortunately for you, but
Yeah, as an Edinburgh fan, it breaks my heart, but it's okay. Like so long as you're performing and you're happy there, that's the main thing. I
yeah,
joke about it with all the players we get, especially the ones that like kind of jump in between the two.
yeah.
I think Ali Price got asked it a lot. Like his first game, like, is it weird? And he was like, not really, because I know the boys, and yeah, whatever comfortable for you. So, what is it you're studying, if you don't mind me asking?
So I'm doing an economics degree at Glasgow University. So yeah,
Nice.
I started it last year. So I was full time last year, and then I've gone part time this year. So I think I'm gonna be there probably till I'm like 30 years old. But I don't mind. It's just taking away at it is the main thing.
Fair enough. You did mention Super Six, and congratulations on winning that last year.
Thank you.
Who, for those not watching Super Six, who would you say is the top three to break through into the professional setup next?
Oh God, I'm quite biased here because
No, you're the guy. It's up to you.
I would say from my Sterling squad, there's Gregor Hiddleston, who's the hooker that played there. He's actually already involved with Glasgow, but I think he's one to break through. He was probably one of the best players in that tournament. Scored loads of tries. Got man of the match in that final. Um, oh God, I'm so biased, but Richie
Well, good.
Simpson as well played 10 with me in under 20s. Kind of broke through a lot. He wasn't signed at all academy anywhere, and then just I remember when we played in the Six Nations before he got a head knock, so got injured, but he was crazy good in the game we played against England and Wales and Italy. He was in those three games was unbelievable, especially that England game. Probably one of the best goal kickers I've seen off the tee. I think in the sprint series last year, he didn't miss a single kick. Kicked like 36 out of 36 in the tournament. Uh, who else? Mm, Matt Davidson, I think, is a great player. He went to the same school as me. I think he's played sevens for Scotland. I think he's been involved with Edinburgh a little bit, playing a few of the A games, but I think he's definitely one to look at going through.
There you go.
So,
I'm going to ask something very stupid because I've never asked this like on camera. What's the difference between the Super Six Sprint Series and then the Super Series, as it's called?
So yeah, there's the super. So sorry, my lingo is probably a bit off because I'm used to Super Six, but it's now Super Series is the new name of it. So the sprint is a short tournament in about it's like April May time where you play everyone plays each other once, and then there's just the top. So then it goes top two play each other in the final. Just top two of the league just play a straight final. And then the Super Series, the championship competition, is the one that starts in about September and runs till I think it was start of November, end of October. And that's, or maybe it's actually might be longer than that. I think it starts in August. But that is you play everyone twice, and then the top four, there's semi-final, final, and then the final is always at the Hive. Whereas
Okay.
in the sprint, it's just that whoever tops the league gets a home final. So it's just so there's rugby the whole of that like block because there's only I think 7 teams. It's you can't just keep playing everyone and everyone. So the championship's the big one, and then there's a little bit of a break, and then there's the sprint. So
Fair enough. Thank you for explaining that to me. All of that. Just sticking with Super Six or Super Series, as it's now called. What's the biggest difference you've noticed in your game playing from Super Series to the professional game?
yeah, I was speaking about this the other day with someone I can't remember who, but I was just it's the big difference I think between Super Six, Super Series, and pro level is the speed of the game and the time you have to make decisions because it's pro is a much faster game. The physicality is obviously more. Everything's a little bit more, but the speed is just way faster, and there's much more less time to make decisions. So I've got to get to the ball quickly, get the ball away quickly because Glasgow's whole game plan is based around quick ball. So
Mm.
I've only got a split second to make a decision when I get there. Whereas in Super Series, you get there, everyone's a bit slower, everyone's a little bit more unfit. So you can kind of wait a bit, have a look around, have a think about what you're doing. So definitely speed of the game is much better. But from a physicality standpoint and from just a managing point, there's lots of ex pros that play in Super Six. It's still really a good standard and it's definitely physical. So I think definitely for young boys, it's a good way to kind of get introduced to what it's actually like to play men's rugby instead of what you're used to playing against people your own age. But yeah, no, it's definitely a lot slower. But
Fair enough. So you're going to get to almost like pick and go a bit more often at the Super
yeah,
Series.
yeah, and pick and go and not get smashed by some big French prop or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, well, hopefully not anytime soon anyway.
No.
Um, you were vice captain during the trophy, under 20 trophy in Kenya. Does captaining change how you play at all, or not particularly?
It was a bit weird because I played 2 years of under 20s and I was used to being really a big decision maker, calling plays, choosing stuff like whether we're going corner, post, that kind of thing, and just mentality. Just kind of, I'm the one that as the one speaking in the huddle, so it was a little bit different going into an environment where you kind of go right back down to the bottom where you're the young boy, so you're just not got that same presence. People don't look to you to solve stuff really, which I think is nice when you're going into a new environment because it means you're just kind of focusing on what you have to do. So you're not kind of thinking, you're not carrying the pressure of, am I going to make the right decision here? So it's definitely a good thing at the start. But I think when you're in that position where you're kind of captaining, it's a bit more of like you have a you have a bit more confidence because you've been given the role, you back yourself a lot more, and you have a bit more confidence to make decisions, not be worried about making mistakes. But I think at Glasgow it's good. Franco's quite big on like liberating us as players, making sure that we make decisions, even if it is the right decision and it goes wrong, you're never going to get called out for that, told that that's a bad decision because he wants you to make the right decision and he backs your skill set to do that. So I think it's a little bit of both. I like the environment at Glasgow in that aspect because I'm not scared to make decisions and I'll go for stuff if I want to go for it. So yeah.
You mean like the 50-22 drop
Yeah.
that you somehow put? How did you manage that?
That's a big part of my kicking long is like the whole big part of my game. I'm like 6 foot, so I'm reasonably tall for a scrum half. So I've got quite long legs, so I like to hit the ball as hard as I can, just hope that it bounces in the right place.
Sadly, it did bounce in the right place.
We
It
didn't
did.
get a bonus point though, so it was a bit
Oh
frustrating.
no! Oh no! But you still won the cup, so
Yeah,
congratulations on
thank you.
that. For those that haven't watched you play yet for Glasgow, how would you describe? Oh, sorry. How would you describe your game, your playing style, compared to like maybe compare yourself to a different scrum half, just for reference?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got a bunch of scrum halves I could compare myself to since the whole last year. It was actually really cool. I was first pro environment I've ever come into, and I came into an environment with obviously Ali, George, and and Jamie. So you've got three international level scrum halves there. So I'll take George Horn, amazing player, absolutely electric, is the perfect scrum half for Glasgow at the moment, just because the way he plays, quick speed. I'm trying to get to that level. Obviously, George is so fast and he's so just like electric. So that's definitely a big part of my game I'm working on because it's so fundamental for how Glasgow play. I like to say my kicking game is a big aspect of the way I play. I like to kick a lot. I like to kick long, kick high. I've got quite a good nudge and skill set, passing, that kind of thing. But definitely trying to work on just being more electric around the rucks, trying to look for space, trying to look for gaps, and just work on that quick speed of ball. That's the goal. But definitely think I'm more of a kicking, passing kind of scrum half. But I have been working on my running game a lot, and especially when we were in the under 20s, I was doing a lot of it. So
There you go. Love that. I like how you've clamped that down, but you've also said that you're wanting to improve. Obviously, you're wanting to improve, and you're wanting to do this aspect of the game. Yeah, and then you're going to become an all rounder, and you're just going to show off. And yeah,
hopefully that's cool.
obviously the Six Nations is like right around the corner. Has there been any conversation with like you or Gregor, or just even advice from them? Maybe not a call up, but
No, not yet. I mean, I'm not like, I would love, I would be over the moon if I got any chat from him. I mean, I think I've spoken to him maybe twice ever. But I think I spoke to him the day before my debut briefly. I think he's just said, "Oh, good luck tomorrow," and I was like really excited about that. But um, I feel like I'm in a place now where if you'd told me at the start of this year I was going to get a debut for Glasgow, I wouldn't believe you. So the fact that I've been playing every week for the last 5 weeks or 6 weeks has just been crazy. Like the change just has come so suddenly, and it's been really exciting. I'm just keen to keep learning, keep improving, and hopefully if I can ever in the next few years even just get some experience in that squad would be really cool. But I'm patient. I know it's a big thing, and it's definitely something that I want to happen. So, but just be patient and see what happens. Yeah.
amazing. I mean, you kind of steered into that anyway. I was about to ask you what is the next step in your career, but you've just hit it on the head. Just be patient and good
Yeah.
things. You've said it there.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
think the goal forward is just to keep getting games for Glasgow. I know Jamie's injured at the moment, so he's going to be coming back, and he's I've known Dobie since I was I think 13. So he was actually 2 years older than me in school, so he gave me a lot of help when I was younger, to be honest. He used to come and do passing with me. So I remember watching him from when he was in the cup final for when he was at school, and he got man of the match that game, played him unbelievable. And I think having him like just a little bit older than me and doing so well kind of inspired me to work a bit harder and try and get there as well. So I think it'll be, as long as I can try get a few more games when he's back. See with George away, hopefully at the Six Nations, hopefully he'll be playing there. So just keep playing and taking away.
fair enough. I was going to say, see when players are injured in the same position as you, obviously as like a friend and teammate, you want them to get better. You want them, but is there like that competitiveness like in the back of your head, just like good? Like, I'm glad
Yeah,
he's giving my
I mean,
shot. Yeah,
it's a bit of a weird one. It's always a weird one in sport when because there's such a good environment at Glasgow. There's just and Franco's so good at rotating the squad. Like we don't really have like a first choice squad that starts every week. There's so much competition for places, and he's so big on having a squad that's so that because if you look at the moment, we've got so lots of injuries, but
yeah.
the squad's still doing well. And I think that's just because of the depth he's managed to bring in from keeping players fit, keeping players playing. No one's playing too long, so I think it is a bit of a weird one, but because there's so much rotation, you never really know if you're like first choice, second choice. It's all a bit like, well, one week I could be starting, the next week I could not be playing. So it's definitely a weird one. But yeah, I mean, I was a bit gutted when Dobie got injured because obviously this is a massive year for him. He's an unbelievably good player, and I would love to see him kick on because he deserves it.
Oh, you're such a nice guy, Ben. You're too nice. We need that. We need to build that on that ego. Obviously, Jamie's like quite versatile. Like you can play on the wing. Is there positions you've kind of maybe in training just dabbled at that we could maybe see you in the future, not just at
Yeah,
scrum?
I played scrum. I've played scrum half my whole life. I had, I think, a season and a half at fullback when I was 15
Ooh,
and 16. And I
okay.
actually think in the for the 20s, I played 10 a couple of times in two of the games. I think one in Kenya and one in the Six Nations. And I at about 60 minutes, they just moved me to because I trained a lot at 10. To be honest, it started against in the England game of the first game of the Six Nations. Decided to put a 6-2 split on the bench. So they trained the whole week. I pretty much trained at fullback and at 10. And then in the England game, I ended up playing fullback for the last 20 minutes of that game. And then in Kenya, I played 10 again in one of the games. I can't remember which one it was, but they just moved me there. So I have trained a lot at 10 and at 15. And I think that with this way of Glasgow play, it's quite big on players being able to play more than one position. So I don't think it will come anytime soon, obviously, because I'm pretty new to playing and I don't think they chuck me in there. But I'm comfortable playing 15 and I would love to be able to be a good standoff as well. So
That's what I like to hear. We like, obviously, you said it for Glasgow, but obviously for Scottish rugby as well. A
yeah,
big thing is the whole versatility. Like, obviously, Hugh Jones is a good example right now,
yeah,
playing at centre, but then with the injuries you boys have, he's been on the wing. He's played at fullback when he was down at Quins, so there's that versatility. Yeah, and then obviously yourself that could play scrum half 10 and fullback, which is that's quite a ridiculous change, but fair play.
no, yeah, I actually, I don't know why. I think when I was younger, I was always a nine, but I did play quite a bit of 10 when I was really young. And then in my last year of school, because we weren't playing my last year of school was a COVID year. So we ended up just doing loads of like training for nothing. So I think I just took that as a year. I just kind of got bored playing scrum half and training. So I just ended up just playing 10. And this is one of the boys I played 10 with at school. We used to like if it would go one pitch to the other side of the pitch, I wouldn't go the whole way. I'd just stop and he'd go and play 9 and then we'd just kind of switch it around. So it was quite fun. But yeah, no, that year I just ended up doing it lots and I kind of got a bit of a nick for it. I'd love to say I'd be a world class 10, but I don't think I would. So
Why not?
yeah,
Who knows? I mean,
we'll see.
you're already carving it up, and it's freakish. I've watched your games, and you're just sitting like, my God.
Thank you.
I'm not just saying that because you're a guest. It's just like that 1872, the first leg in Glasgow. You came off the bench. We've already spoke about the 50-22 from the box kick. It's stuff like that that kind of actually gives you a spotlight compared to George or Ali or that. But yeah,
Yeah.
they're very good. But obviously, a box kick's usually just get it up and put enough hang time on it to get used underneath it.
Yeah.
I've never seen it be used as like almost as a punt.
Yeah, no, I just think that's a big bit of my game I've just worked on recently, like just kicking long. I mean, I used to just always kick up high, and then I
Yeah,
think it was actually Franco that said to me like, if you can kick it 50, 60 meters off the box kick, why wouldn't you do that? Like he says if we've got a good chase and you can kick it down to their 22, if we chase that, they're going to be stuck on their side of the pitch and they're just going to kick it back to us. So he almost says like if you think you can trap them on their side of the pitch, get it deep so we get a good chase, that's almost better than gaining 20 meters and
yeah,
possibly getting contestable back. So
very true. To be fair,
yeah, so he's the one. Yeah.
Who is your? I know you're starting your career and you've played with some good tens, but who's your dream 10? Who do you want on your outside?
I think this is a pretty easy question to answer. Obviously, Finn Russell, but I would love to. It would be amazing to play with him. I just think he's crazy good, and he makes you look unbelievable. Especially, I mean, you see what I mean. Cam Redpath's an amazing player as well, but him and Finn together, they seem to be doing crazy good down in Bath. So
Very
I think
dangerous.
he seems to make everyone he plays with look really good. So I definitely would want to play with him at some point. And I mean, hopefully, if I can ever get to that point, and he's still playing, then that would be the dream.
There you go. Who? Anyone from the past, maybe potentially retired tens that you would have loved to rub
Uh,
shoulders?
I don't know. Yeah, it's so stereotypical, but Dan Carter, obviously, really, really good player. I
Um,
mean, there is some like I would like to play with someone like Richard Wong as well. I think he's class, and I like the way they play. I quite like having a 10 who is a bit more like electric, looks for space, is a running 10 more just because it's a bit different to the way I play. So it's quite good to have that balance rather than I think if you've got two really I mean obviously it works in some cases if you look at like Connor Murray and Sexton, that kind of partnership works. But I think it would be quite cool to play with someone who's really electric, looks for space, good running game. So yeah, definitely someone like Finn Russell, who's obviously got a great kicking game as well. But I'm not
I
gonna.
mean, oh, I'm just thinking about it now. Like, big long range box kick from you. You set up, flick out to the fin, cross field kick. It's stupid and it would work. And I kind of really need to see it happen now. So, yeah. We're going to move on to something a bit different now. We're going to get to know you a bit more as a person.
Cool.
So, who's your sporting hero? Not, it doesn't have to be rugby.
Oh, uh, sporting hero. Um, I am probably going to say I think Tyson Fury.
Okay, cool.
Weird one. Not on the sense of I think there's a lot of stuff that he does as a person who I'm not 100% on. I don't know if you've seen his documentary.
Yeah.
But I think in the terms of I like a redemption story, and I think the way he, in the sporting sense, the way he came from pretty much being out of it completely. I think he was a bit of a he'd gone down a hole, not very mental health wise, very stable, and I think he was having problems with addiction, and to then go from the bottom all the way back up to the top and become one of the best, if not the best boxer in the world again. I think that's a huge thing, and I think that shows a lot of mental strength and resilience. And I think that's a really good story going to just yeah as a story, but as a not as a person, I wouldn't say because there's definitely a lot of controversy around him. But from a sporting aspect, I think that's a hugely crazy story, and yeah, I just think it's pretty inspirational.
Fair enough. What about from a personal side? Who's the non-sporting
Uh,
hero then?
uh, I don't know. I'd sort of probably someone like Messi, maybe pretty humble guy, world class player, very humble. I mean, you always see the Messi Ronaldo comparison, and if you look at him, Messi's a lot more humble. He's more about helping the team than just about himself. And say, I like to say that's a pretty big aspect of sport. I think, especially when you play a team sport, you don't. It's not about being the superstar. It's almost about making other people look like a superstar, especially when you're in a position where you can do that.
Yeah, spot on. Your go-to like favorite style of food, like food cuisine.
Yeah, I've spoke about this so much recently because everyone seems to be so interested about it. But the Iranian food, I love Iranian food. My dad's from Iran, so and all that side of my family live in Edinburgh now, so I see them all the time. So we do a lot of barbecues and like kebabs, lots of rice, Iranian food, that kind of thing. So I do love when we have that, just because it's it's a massive, like, heartwarming, wholesome thing. I'm just go home, sit down at the table with all my family and have that food. So definitely that.
It sounds good, to be fair.
It is very.
Who doesn't love a kebab?
I
And
know.
probably all good, like protein wise and all that as well. Then, so
Yeah, it's actually
yeah.
healthy food as well, which is so I can't complain.
Your go-to song right before a game. What's a must? What's an absolute must to be played?
What, as in the song I listen to before I play?
Yeah, or
Uh,
songs
I'm a
that the
big,
team listens to.
I'm a big rap fan, so I like I've got a playlist of rap music that every time I'm on the bus, it's like 9 songs. So if it's a long journey, they just end up getting repeated. But I'm quite superstitious. I've got so I always listen to I like the 20. There's a 21 Savage song I always listen to when I come off the bus, just because kind of makes me feel good when I walk off and I'm walking into the change room. So I seem to always be listening to that, and yeah, just lots of that kind of stuff is my pre-music kind of game song.
Is it just the beat that like keeps like
Yeah,
keeps going, or
yeah, it's just a habit, and now I'm quite I'm as I said, I'm quite a superstitious guy, so I like to have routine and I like to have the same thing. Don't like to change much. So
right? How superstitious we getting? Because you do get some athletes that it has to be the
um
same pair of boxers, the same.
yeah, I had a pair of lucky boxes that I wore for every game since from when I was about 13 till I think a year and a half ago, and then they ripped. So I cut a patch out of them and sewn it onto another pair of boxers, and I wear them for every game. Yeah, so that's one of my superstitions. And then if I've got socks that have left and right on them, I have to wear them on the other foot. But
Oh my god!
I just got new grip socks. One of the boys at Sterling has a grip sock company. Glenn Bryce, the foot he was at Glasgow for. I think yeah, was it? Yeah, well, he was definitely at Glasgow. I don't know where else he was, but he's got his own grip sock brand, and luckily they don't have it on, so I can live healthily before the game. I don't freak out.
Nice. The boxer thing though,
Yeah, I know it's
that's
weird.
that's a strange one. But hey, if it works for you, I can't critique if it works.
Exactly, it worked.
Any smelling salts or that? Because I know that's a big
Nah,
thing. Nah,
nah, nothing like that. That's just the big ones. Yeah, I always tape my wrists, write some stuff on my wrists. So just yeah, that kind of stuff. And I like to keep stuff the same. So I'm quite big on I hate wearing new boots and stuff like that. Just because I could not I yeah, I end up wearing boots into the ground just because I get stressed about changing stuff. But no, it's definitely I would say if you can get out, if you cannot do superstitions, don't do them for the sake of them. Only like because I think when I started mine, I was a bit like, oh, like listening to all these athletes who have superstitions, and then I'm like, oh God, that's quite quirky. I'm gonna try some of that. And then now I'm stuck in a bit of a loop because I don't want them because they suck, but have to do them or it stresses me out.
I was just about to ask. Like, let's say you panically packed for a game and you forgot your boxers. What happens?
Yeah, see, it's actually I think I've not done that since I was about 18. I think now it's just even my mum's like if it's a few days before a game and she's like, Ben, I've just washed some of your clothes. Your boxes are here. Straight in the car back to Edinburgh. I'll go and pick them up, and so she's even aware of it now. If I'm ever packing, she's always checking. Have you got everything you need to your lucky boxes and that? So
That's you know what? Fair play. I've never heard about. Well, I never really spoke to anyone about superstitions, but yeah, you know what? If it works for you and
yeah,
it keeps you in the mindset, and nobody can complain.
no, exactly.
Do you drink?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But sorry, that was a very fast yes. I
That was a very
I so I was at uni. I'm at uni still. So I have a lot of friends at university. So I do like to like it's quite nice because when I'm not in rugby, I get away from it. Definitely, I'm big on having quite a professional lifestyle. Even though I'm young, I try not to really stay up late, go out much, but I do like to go out and socialize. It's quite a big. I'm a big music fan. I like DJing. I like that kind of stuff. Don't know. Got some records here. That's my
Yeah.
DJ setup here. So
Okay, cool.
I'm quite big on music and that. So I like the music scene in Glasgow. I like to go to kind of events and stuff at different like clubs, venues. So I like when I'm off, I do it more than obviously when I'm here. But I still like to once or twice a month just go and even if I'm not drinking, just go and have a like listen to some music, go see some DJs. So
Nothing wrong with that. If the boys have a big win, what is your go-to drink?
oh uh see, I'm not a big pints drinker, even though I'm
Okay.
in the rugby environment. I've never really. I don't know why. It's because I didn't. My dad's not doesn't really drink. He
Brilliant.
grew up in Iran, so
Yeah, of course.
so
No, I
no
know.
alcohol there. So he's not a big drinker. So I didn't really. I never really grew up kind of having pints in the house, sitting going for drinks with him. So I do like a Guinness, but I
Good
would say.
boy. Yes, good lad.
I'm a big drinker. I like rum and cokes, and I'm quite like whiskey as well. So that's something I've got into in the last couple of years. I quite like drinking whiskey.
We're just
So,
knocking out of the park now. I love it.
yeah. So those are the three, and I don't really stir away. If I'm getting a mixer, it's normally a rum and coke because they're my
Yeah.
favorites.
Any kind of rum or
I like spiced rum. That's just the. I don't like white rum. No Bacardi. I'm not a big
it's
Bacardi.
not it's not the best to be fair. You're
No,
not missing.
no.
Does pineapple belong on pizza? We were talking about food and I forgot to ask you.
Oh yeah, I don't really mind. I don't mind it. It wouldn't be my go-to pizza, and I don't think it's that tasty. But if it, I think you can put anything on pizza. To be honest,
That's a safe answer. That is a PR trained answer. That.
it's true though. I think it you can put anything on pizza. If you like it, you like it.
Nah, I don't know.
Are you very anti pineapple on pizza?
I'm very anti pineapple on pizza, but it becomes a big topic every guest we've had. A lot of the Southern Hemisphere players we've had on say absolutely, and then they'll even go one step further and go, "Have you ever put a pineapple ring on a burger?" And it
Yeah.
hurts my head, and no, it just sounds.
I'm not sure on that. I'm not sure on that.
Some say you can just stick it like so straight out of the tin onto the burger. Some say you can grill it. I'm like, stop. What's going on here? Why are you putting fruit on the burger?
I'm not for that. I'm not for that. I'm not a big pizza eater. I'm not the biggest fan of pizza, but I like burgers, and I would definitely never put a pineapple on a burger.
Never
So
ruin a burger with a pineapple ring. There you go.
yeah.
Have you got a sweet tooth? Like any desserts you go to?
Um, this is pretty lame, but I actually really hate eating. I've had a problem with gaining weight my whole life.
Okay.
Just 'cause I'm not a big. I just don't like eating very much. I think because I've grown into the habit of eating for the sake of eating. I think that's
Hmm.
it's a bit of an athlete thing, but my body composition, I have to just force feed myself to eat. So I actually end up not really enjoying food that much, but I eat a lot because I have to because I burn loads of calories. But
Right.
I like Nutella a lot. That's probably the big one. I'm a big
Yeah.
Nutella eater because it's got pretty good calories in it as well. So I do like having crepes. My mum's good at making them as well. So when I was at home, she used to make them all the time for me, which was nice. But yeah, if I go on holiday, I'm always having a wee Nutella crepe. That's my go-to.
Nothing wrong with that. That's fair enough. What's your favourite film?
Oh, that's such a tough question. I like Shutter Island.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Um, completely, completely different one, a different energy. Um, obviously, I like Step Brothers because it's funny,
Good one.
and but those are the two go-tos. That and then I quite like that kind of Step Brothers type of movie, like Pineapple Express. That's a great movie. Those kind of movies I seem to always be watching because they're quite they just keep me calm. anything that's too intense just kind of stresses me out a bit. I watched that Saltburn movie the other day, and I just kind of haven't recovered from it.
I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I wouldn't watch it. No, it's a good movie. It's just really weird, so it's probably not very family friendly. So
all I've heard is don't watch it with your parents, and I'm like,
yeah,
why?
I know you're saying you've got a wee one, so I wouldn't watch with them.
Right, okay. I'll wait till they're in bed, and then I'll give it a go. And then I'll message you and just be like, yeah, no.
Yeah, you'll probably be like, I wish you hadn't told me to watch that. So.
Do that a lot. People come on like recommend stuff, and I'm like, yeah, cool, watch it. But like, why'd you recommend that?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yeah. So we have my flatmates. We watch every Wednesday. We watch a horror movie. So that's what we're doing today. We don't know what we're watching tonight, but we've watched quite a lot of them. So
hands down, I can admit it. I'm a big shite bag when it comes to that stuff. I don't do horror. I don't like it.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this isn't that scary, but I'm sitting.
Oh no, I wouldn't even see if there's like a trailer for like a horror film. I'll still avoid skip past it. Nope, not interested.
Yeah, I'm not that bad.
The minute it's quiet and it's like panning around to nothing, I'm like, something's gonna jump and I'm gonna break my TV, and I don't want to. I don't like it.
Exactly. That's the fear, isn't it? But I'm getting better. I'm improving.
Getting better. Do you have any hobbies away from rugby? Apart from your music, of course.
Yeah, my music is a big one. I've spent loads of time doing that. Probably all the time. I like to play golf as well. I don't really play much at the moment just because it's the winter and I spend enough time outside in the cold, so I don't really want to spend any more time than I have to. But in the summer, I do that a lot. My dad's a big golfer, same with my cousins and my uncles. So I go and play there in Edinburgh quite a lot. And yeah, I got really into it. What happens is I get really, at the start of summer, I get excited, start playing loads. And then by the end of the summer, I'm quite good. And then I don't play at all the winter, come back next year, and I'm back to the start. So I've never got crazy good, but that's something I like to do a lot of the time.
I do feel like as a summer sport though.
Definitely a summer sport.
Yeah, you couldn't play. I mean, you've seen Scottish weather. It's just
winter
doesn't. No, it's not for golf. It's not really for any sport, really. That's why 4G just exists now.
Exactly. That's why no one wants to play.
Actually, there's one. 4G pitches. Yes or no? Like, a lot of players don't like that.
I like it. I like it because it's I don't have to get tackled or do much tackling, but it's good for the speed of the ball. You don't get mud all over the ball, so I like it.
Plus, and nobody's thought of this. See when it's raining and you're playing on 4G. See if you're to score. See if you dive from about 10 meters out, you're going to get that try because you're just going to keep. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I like the 4G, but I know a lot of people don't. The only thing is training on it every day can get a bit annoying sometimes because if you do get cuts or burns, it's hard to get rid of them. But nah, it's okay. I think as you get older, it can get a bit tough on the joints. But I'm obviously still young, so it probably won't hit me till I'm a bit older, and then I'll be telling you. If you ask me in 10 years, I'll probably be answering a different. I'll say I hate 4G.
I mean, I'm only 25, and I feel I've stopped playing. So like all the hits I got, I'm like, yeah, my body's like. By the way, this has been hurting for about 4 years. We just didn't tell you.
Yeah.
Like we had the 4G pitch to train on in the winter, but it was like an all like sport. 4G wasn't just for rugby, so there was a cage around it. So if you slide, like what I was saying, I bounced off the cage a few times. Like I'm like, it wasn't. I was like, there was absolutely no need for that. But who's your most famous contact in your phone?
Probably one of the rugby boys, to be honest. I don't really have any famous friends. Hopefully soon. No, I don't. Yeah, probably one of the rugby boys. I mean, I've got all of their phone numbers, obviously, so I probably someone like that, but I don't know. I'm
going to put you on the spot. Then, who's the biggest name in the Glasgow team?
Oh,
If you had to pick one.
Probably at the moment like Sione or Hugh Jones, just because they were played so well in the Six Nations. They're pretty big names at the moment. They seem to, like, if you're ever with them, people are stopping them to take photos with them and stuff, which is kind of weird because obviously I don't think I've not been recognized yet, so we'll see if that ever happens. But
It's
no,
gonna happen.
they're definitely big boys, big names. So it's quite cool to be around them sometimes. It just kind of blows my mind that people actually see them as like celebrities. But yeah, probably those two.
And you're just probably saying like, you should have heard what he said on Monday because
Yeah.
you would want to speak to him after that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, but no, it's quite cool. I definitely took me a bit of getting used to when I came into Glasgow last year. I think yeah, because when we came in last year, it was after our under-20 stuff in Italy, and they had already been doing pre-season, but the rest of the Scotland boys were just come back from Argentina, so the first like 6 weeks there was two training groups, and obviously we were the returning under-20s boys were in the same group as the returning internationals.
Yeah.
So it was quite weird to go from, I think before I'd been training with the under-20s and then to go straight into training with like Xander Ferguson, like Matty, all those boys as well. So I was kind of doing contact drills with people who are, I think I was a lot smaller then, so I was doing contact drills with people who are twice my size, and it definitely took a bit of getting used to, but no, it's fine now. I'm ready for it.
Stand and hold the pad, and then Big Sione comes at you, and
Yeah, big, yeah. Definitely shy away from that one. Try getting a group that's not with him.
yeah, you just have a little quick look around a bit. This one, yeah, I'm not going.
Yeah, the problem is there's like 25 players who are all like massive at Glasgow. So any group you go in, there seems to be someone who's absolutely huge. So now I'm just trying to toughen up a bit.
Love that. Final question for you today, Ben. One thing you want to be remembered for?
In a rugby sense, I just want to be. I think it's all good being remembered as a great player, but I think being a good person is probably more important. Like I'm always trying. I don't know if it's just because I'm new to it, but people who message me, people who say stuff, I always try and reply just because I think it takes 2 seconds to be a nice guy. So I would love to be remembered as a great rugby player, but I think I would like to be remembered for being, when people meet me, being nice and always welcome, always happy to speak to people, because I'm quite a sociable guy. If you come and chat, if anyone comes and speaks to me, I'm always a bit shocked and a bit like, oh, what, you actually want to speak to me? But no, I definitely want to be remembered for being a good person, humble, and that kind of thing, rather than being the best rugby player in the world. So.
Oh yeah, must be rubbish being remembered as that. Nah, I get what you're saying. And
No,
I do agree. You are very humble from what we spoke about and how you've spoke about potential Scotland call-ups and all that. And yeah, you're very down to earth. You're very humble. You're very driven as well. I'll give you that.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm definitely.
Ahead of yourself as well, which I love.
Yeah, I think a big part is just I'm just taking it every day as it comes. Like, it's nice to have to play well, but there's also loads of stuff I want to work on. I definitely don't think I'm anywhere near where I want to be. So yeah, just kind of keep ticking away, and yeah, always happy to get opportunities. So hopefully they keep coming.
Love that. Well, we'll end it on that high because the book is now closed, Ben. You've absolutely smashed it.
Thank you.
Obviously, all the best for the remainder of the season. Whether or not we see you in a Scotland jersey, but we'll definitely see you in a Glasgow jersey. Probably starting very soon because you're just knocking at the door of the now, and yeah, there's just gonna be more to come. You're gonna get bored of hearing the name Ben Afshar.
Thank you. Right, thank you very much for that. I was really happy to be on this. So.
You're very welcome, and you're welcome back anytime. And this has been the final whistle of Ben Afshar, and we will see you next time.